Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. To start this intellectual session with the name of Allah, I would like to invite Mr. Saif for the recitation of the Holy Quran.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. तर्जुमा, जो लोग ईमान लाए और जिन्होंने नेक अमल किए हैं उनकी मेहमानी के लिए बेशक फिरदौस के बाग होंगे जिनमें वो हमेशा रहेंगे और वहां से कहीं और जाना नहीं चाहेंगे। ए पैगंबर, लोगों से कह दो कि अगर मेरे रब की बातें लिखने के लिए समंदर रोशनाई बन जाए तो मेरे रब की बातें ख़त्म नहीं होंगी कि इससे पहले समंदर ख़त्म हो चुका होगा, चाहे इस समंदर की कमी पूरी करने के लिए हम वैसा ही एक और समंदर क्यों ना ले आएं। कह दो कि मैं तो तुम ही जैसा एक इंसान हूँ, अलबत्ता मुझ पर ये वही आती है कि तुम सबका खुदा बस एक अल्लाह है, लिहाजा जिस किसी को अपने मालिक से जा मिलने की उम्मीद हो उसे चाहिए कि वो नेक अमल करे और अपने मालिक की इबादत में किसी और को शरीक ना ठहराए। जज़ाकल्लाह खैर। सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम।
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. I welcome you all, honorable guest speaker, respected faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all are doing great and safe with your families. I am Arya Azam, alongside Mr. Noman Azim and Mr. Roshan Khan, shall be your host for today's session. It is our great pleasure and the first and foremost duty on behalf of a university to extend a gracious and exclusive welcome to all of you. So today's topic of our session is depression, its causes, misconceptions, and remedies.
I am Malik Numan Azim. Firstly, we will discuss what is depression. Depression is a common and serious medical illness that negatively affects a person's daily life. And unfortunately, it is misunderstood and ignored in our society. There are many causes behind this mental disorder. For instance, in today's scenario, due to this COVID-19 pandemic, this mental issue is very common among students caused by the virtual education system. That is, our burden of assignments, quizzes, projects, and vivas. Although researchers have proved that it may lead to suicide and other diseases, which is why the purpose of today's session is to tackle depression by recognizing its causes, misconceptions, and remedies. Before moving on, I have an announcement to make. Those who have any queries or questions related to today's topic, they can forward them in a chat box to the participant name as 4 questions only. And those who have joined through Facebook, they will also drop their questions in the comment section. We will take those questions at the end.
Today, we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Uzma Masroor, who has a keen interest in clinical psychology, and she has been providing consultation for the last 20 years. Dr. Uzma Masroor is the president of Pakistan Association of Clinical Psychologists, Islamabad chapter. Moreover, she is a certified trainer of hypnosis, NGH USA, and National Federation of Neuro-Linguistic Psychology, USA. She was also the associate professor of Bahria University, Islamabad, and now she is chair Department of Humanities, Education, and Psychology, Air University. She is also the president of Pakistan's only multidisciplinary mental health setup, Transformation International Society. Ma'am, we are really honored to have you on board for today's session. Now, I would like to hand over this floor to our honorable guest. Over to you, ma'am.
How will it turn into depression is when you start losing your hope, one. Secondly, when your body would start showing some signs at the dark side of something. So for last 4 weeks or more than 4 weeks, it is happening to me that I am not looking at the positive side of most of the things, not everything, but most of the things. In most of the cases, I'm looking at the pessimistic side. Why do I think in a negative manner? Nahi hoga, kya fayda, sort of. Done. My second statement is, it is difficult for me to take initiative of sometimes very common thing, very simple things. So it is difficult for me to start something, to have energy to start something, to have motivation to start something. So it is difficult for me to take initiative to do minor things even. So just rate if it is not applicable at you, said give it 0. And you know what, how you have to rate it. We do not have to look into something that is 100% applicable to you. No, do not look for 100%, but look for more time, more often than not. Almost 60%, 40%. I think you are better judge of your own situation. It is not a problem at all. So I'm moving onwards to the third statement. For last 4 weeks or more than 4 weeks, I think I do not have anything to look forward to. I do not feel any charm. I do not feel, anything in future that I have to look forward to. This is my third statement. Right? Should I move onward?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Now, my fourth statement is going to be, most of the time, I feel very downhearted, demotivated. Most of the time, I feel very downhearted, as if very low in energy and everything. The prior statement was pertaining to starting an activity, having no energy to start an activity. But here, this statement implies to different situations when you think that most of the time you feel as if you are towards the lower side of feeling, downhearted, demotivated. My fifth statement, I have 7 statements. My fifth statement is, it is very difficult for me to show enthusiasm in activities I even like. I used to like them. The activities I used to like before, maybe book reading, maybe, sightseeing, maybe some other activity you have always enjoyed. But for last 4 weeks or more than 4 weeks, you think that it was difficult to feel enthusiastic about doing anything that previously you liked. So this is going to be my fifth statement. Now, second last statement is referred to, related to the, feeling pattern. I feel as if I'm I'm of no use, I'm worthless. As if there is a feeling of worthlessness. I'm kind of useless person. I don't think I've done ever anything significant in my life. I don't think people like me. I don't think I'm of some use or something like that. You know, feeling very low about your own self-esteem, about your own self. This is the thinking part of depression I'm going to discuss now. And my last statement is about general life perception. For last 4 weeks or more than 4 weeks, it appears as if the life is meaningless, as if whatever I do is not going to work for me. The situation is not going to change ever. Things are going to stay as they are. And again, looking at the dark side of it, you know, sticking towards the negative side of it. So these 7 statements, if you have already rated them, some have rated a statement 1, 2, 3, 0, वगैरह. So I want you to count them all and write down the total score. We will not discuss the scores here. It is just for your own understanding. I am using a portion of a standardized test just to get an idea whether we are some sort of having depressive symptoms or not. That's it. I'm not diagnosing anyone with depression or something. This is just an idea, broad idea. Maybe I need to look at this. Now I'm going to tell you the category scores that would guide you which level of depression currently you are in. If your score is between 0 to 9, 0 to 9 mean there is no depression at all. And if your score is between 10 to 13, so that means for some reason you are experiencing mild level of depressive state. I won't say depression itself. I won't say depressive disorder. I'm just talking about the depressive state. And if your score is between 40 to 20, so that means there is a moderate level of depression currently. And once I will start discussing what depression is, what causes depression, what is the background, what are the symptoms, then you will be able to relate to your score and to understand yourself better. Abhi to we just have a score in hands. Moderate level is the score between 14 to 20. And then severe level is 21 to 27, is alarming, is indicative of some kind of depression, possibly there, that we need to do something about. Right? So just take 1 moment, 30 seconds, calculate your score and see where you are. And if somebody is going beyond 27, then keep it a secret. Okay. Now I'm coming to my content about depression. So what I initially mentioned, that first category I'm going to talk about will be the possibility of depressive symptoms. It may not be depression itself, but there might be some symptoms, some indicators that might refer to depressive state. Before that, let me tell you what actually symptomatology of depression is. Depression hai kya? As I already mentioned, depression is a state of mind and body both, because we cannot separate our mind and our body. It is kind of integrated whole. When your mind is fresh, your body is fresh, and vice versa is true as well. So depression is set of symptoms, a cluster of symptoms in which we experience mental and bodily symptoms. Mental symptoms refer to the feelings of self-worthlessness, hopelessness, lack of motivation, lack of interest, pessimism, looking at the negative side of everything. This is called the mental part of it. When you think life is useless, seemingly everything is useless. I mean, nothing is worth attempting or worth trying. And the second component I talked about is the bodily symptom. Bodily symptoms or bodily conditions are always accompanied by the mental symptoms, as I mentioned, and vice versa is true as well. So bodily symptoms are something, body symptoms are like feeling lack of energy, sleep issues, inability to sleep, issues with appetite, issues with regular activities, not taking interest in anything at all, alongside maybe headaches, maybe body aches, and other associated symptoms. So when these two, three, four symptoms are combined together, definitely our regular functioning is impaired. We are unable to carry out our life activities as other people are doing. And sometimes when we are going through that, we are just looking at people and we are just, amazed how they are able to do that, how they are not, how they are carrying it so effectively. We are unable to do that. Sort of for a person who is feeling low, actually, it is very difficult for that person to carry out simple things. So depression is basically a combination of mental, I mean thought related, psychological and bodily symptoms. Now coming to what are the reasons? What are the reasons somebody feels depressed? There are a lot of factors that contribute to. As I mentioned, sometimes our thought pattern is not that adaptive. Our thought pattern is disturbed, maybe due to some experiences, some negative experiences, some painful experiences. We conclude out of them, we deduce out of them as if we have been kind of an unsuccessful person, or success was never for you, or whatever you do will not be worthwhile. So due to some negative experience in the past, or sometimes it is repeated experiences, repetitively when we encounter negative experiences, naturally sometimes some other factors are involved, we develop particular pattern of thinking that makes us feel most of the time low, because we think something that never happened before would definitely will not happen in future as well. So negative thinking process is one of the reasons that one might fall into depression. You know what? Real life events, sometimes real life events, they may cause pain, disappointment, and negative experiences. But this is a natural process that you come out of them. There is a specific period of bereavement, there is a specific natural period of healing up. People usually heal up and come out of it. But sometimes, very unfortunate, people, they are unable to come out of it. We have had bad experiences, and then sometimes we have bad company alongside, or maybe not positive people in our life that who can bring us out of it. So continuously ruminating into same type of negative experience may lead to depression, because I myself would suggest that depression is kind of a loop. You enter into it, and it is difficult for you to come out of it until somebody is there to, pull you out of it, right? So the first thing is negative thinking. The second one could be, again, I told you, the negative experiences, and if we do not have any support, any help, or any positive, environmental factors which can bring us out of this situation, so we might fall into this loop of depression. Whenever, okay, let me go to the third, fourth factors as well. One very important factor, I see most of the generation, the young generation here, it is going to be something related to my inner self as well. But I would suggest the lifestyle. This lifestyle currently we are, you know, holding is actually not that healthy. There is circadian cycle, that is fixed inner clock in your brain. Have you ever heard of this? The inner clock, it basically regulates itself with the daylight and then night, throughout the night process. The day and night mechanism is completely aligned with our inner clock, or you can say the inner clock is aligned with the natural process of day and night falling. What actually we do, we usually deviate from this natural cycle. We have got this habit of, staying late night awake, doing very important tasks and assignments and very important things towards the end of the day, when it is time for your mind to rest, to revamp itself, to rewire itself, to strengthen itself, to, repair the vital functioning of your brain. At the very same time, what you are doing, actually, you are putting it into such an, heavily loaded activity. And what are you doing with your brain is actually you are kind of damaging your own mental functioning. And when we reverse this process, we stay up throughout the night and we sleep during the daytime, we are disturbing our brain functioning, brain circadian cycle, we are disturbing it. How can it be possible that our brain mechanism is involved, it is affected, and we stay very normal and healthy? How can it be possible? So sleep pattern is one thing. The second thing in lifestyle is, I'm talking about the depressive states we usually encounter, and most of you must have experienced them in your life sometimes. I'm talking about them, then I will go to actual depression. That is another story. So the second thing is the type of food we are taking in. How healthy intake contributes to your physical functioning. As I mentioned, once you are physically healthy, you are mentally healthy. We do not have any eating pattern, specific timings. We do not have any, mostly, not in every case, maybe few of you are following very healthy diets, and most of them, they are being scolded by their parents. Ye nahi khana, wo nahi khana. They must be more healthy. So this is one of the factors, that we are not taking the required food. We are not giving the essential nutrients to our body. That's why we feel more lethargic, right? More lethargic. Our activity level is very low. Usually we do not go out. We keep on sitting in front of our screens. We do not have any physical activity in our life. We rather feel it very difficult to walk for a few steps even. It is, kind of burden for us. So not engaging yourself into healthy activities, not taking the proper nutritions can cause depression as well. You know why depression? Because your thinking is going to be affected. You may not be that alert, your concentration span could be low, your mental processing can be slow. So all these factors, when combined together, they produce depression-like symptoms. So these are the primary reasons for experiencing depression-like symptoms. But what happens when such when such exercises and such routine or thought pattern, whatever I've mentioned, 3-4 factors, if they continue for relatively longer period of time and you are unable to bring yourself out of this loop, what happens? You might fall into actual depression. Actual depression, because you are pushing your body and your mind towards the depression I will be talking about. That is called, I labeled it as clinical depression, where you need proper professional intervention. Currently, what is happening to us, that we feel depressed many times, primarily it is due to your, maybe, as I mentioned, diet factors, your thought pattern, or maybe your lack of physical activity, maybe your sleep pattern, everything. But what secondary consequences after these factors are, that you know when you lag behind your peers, when you are unable to catch up with the requirements of your environment, it could be your educational environment, it could be your family and social expectations, requirements. If you are unable to meet them, what actually happens? You again feel worthless. Sabne kar liya, main nahi kar saka. But that was because of some other factor. But again, it is the start of negative thinking here. When you start your evaluating yourself negatively, you think as if you are incapable. No matter whatever you try, you won't be able to come out of it, and you are not that efficient, you are not that effective, and you are this and you are that. Here is the start of negative thinking. And unfortunately, if you do not find any person in your life who can bring you out of it, sometimes we are very lucky. We have some people at home, maybe your parents, maybe your close relatives. Okay, utho, chalo, chodo kya, just leave it, go ahead, you can do that. You immediately come out of it, because you although are in that state, but these factors, they bring you out immediately. That is why it is said that you need to be very, you need to be affiliated and integrated with your family systems, because they are big support. And secondly, it is told that keep your company better. You should have people around you who can pull you out of this state and who can boost your self-esteem, and who can contribute positively to your life, and you just again come back, and it is just like normal. Another thing, one important factor, some very significant incidents in our life may put us into depression for a while. I told you earlier that there are certain period of time naturally in which the healing takes place. Maybe some breakup cases, maybe. It is very relevant here to mention, sometimes we have very important relationship breakups. Sometimes we have something, some discord with our family members. Sometimes we have some issues with our friends. Sometimes we have issues with, struggling with our educational life. Sometimes what happens, we lag, your thinking, you might fall into it. It becomes part of your neurotransmitter, and you become actually clinically depressed. So clinical depression is a state of body and mind in which the person is unable to process their thinking normally. They cannot think positively no matter how hard they try, because their brain functioning does not let them to do so. But this is the clinical depression, and it needs to be diagnosed properly by a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And mostly these psychological interventions are required here, in which you need to sit with a professional, because if you've been into the state of depression, usually depressive people are unable to continue with their day routine activities. If they are students, they are lagging behind, they are not scoring as per their IQ, they are not able to pay attention, they are not able to sometimes, take their exams properly, etc. So all these factors are very normal for those who are going through depression. Sometimes you have heard this, phrase, depression is real. Depression is real. So this is what it means. It is there in your brain, in your physical brain. The person is kind of disabled to carry out normal thinking. Okay? But this is the actual depression that needs proper psychological intervention. And in third category, what I mentioned earlier, the severe one in which some medication is required in any case to continue with normal activities. Say it. So clinical depression, if you have scored here, um, maybe 15 onwards, 14 onwards, if your score is 14 onwards, then you definitely need to look into this, and you need some kind of professional intervention where you can consult your psychologist, where you can sit with someone, some professional, and discuss why you are experiencing this depression or depressive symptoms, right? So I think most of the things I have covered in my discussion, I have clarified you that there are certain factors which produce some depression like symptoms in young generation like you and in normal population, normal people, but that is not depression. If you change those factors, if you work on those factors, you can immediately come out of your depressive states very effectively, as if nothing was happened earlier. However, if there are high levels of depression, there are, when your normal functioning is quite impaired, hampered, somebody is not able to go to university at all, nobody is unable to wake up, okay, unable to take exams. If something of this nature happened, when this depressive symptoms, depressive states, they interfered with your life to very significant level, to an alarming level, then we can say the depression, sort of clinical depression onset is expected here, right? So I think let me conclude you with 2-3 statements so that make you more clear about that, and then afterwards I'll be able to take question and answers, right? Some factors, some life experiences we encounter in our life, which are very important for us. For example, academic milestones, for example, some competitive exam we have to take, some job we are, looking for, or some very important relationship broke up. So these factors, when we encounter such factors, we immediately and naturally go into depressive state, because this is normal reaction of our mind and body. There is no harm, there is nothing wrong with it. We can go into this state. But the normal mechanism is that after some specific time and with little support, you come out of it and you just start, leading normal life. But what if this, so this is very normal. These are the 4 factors I mentioned. One, your thinking pattern somehow is negative. You constantly push yourself into negative side of a situation. Secondly, your sleep pattern is disturbed and you are messing up with your brain, physical brain. Third, your body, you are messing up with your body, you are not giving proper nutrition to your body, and someday it is going to stand up against you. 3 factors. Fourth factor is the life events that encounter in your life, and you think this is end of life, and maybe sometimes you try, sometimes you don't try, but you are not coming out of it. Normal failures or disappointments or something like that. There is a long list of such factors. So these 4 factors, when we experience time to heal will take, you will take some time and you will come out of it with little support. But the clinical depression is something else. It has proper set of symptoms. It has proper criteria that need to be checked by a professional. And if it is there, then you need proper help. For last 4 weeks or more than 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months, you are continuously into same pattern of disappointment, negative thinking, heavy body, lack of interest, lagging behind, lack of motivation, then you definitely need to check with some professional. So this was all from my side. I hope I have tried to clear whatever was in my mind, but I would love to have questions from your side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such intellectual session. It really was very informative for all of us. Now with this, I will hand over the floor to Mr. Roshan Khan for question answer session. Over to you, Roshan.
As Maria mentioned, it's time to have question answer session. Let's see from whom we have our first question. So the first question is from Yahya. Yahya, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. My question is that how can you determine that if an illness is causing depression or depression is causing an illness? Thank you.
Please, you have to repeat your question. Ek second, sir.
Should I repeat the question?
पहले तो मैं सिर्फ बोल रही थी ना, तो इसलिए मैं बोल रही थी, तो I need to listen to you. Yes, please.
My question is that how can you determine that if an illness is causing depression or depression is causing an illness?
Good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Illness is something that is basically related to the malfunctioning of your body. Illness is basically combination of lot of symptoms together. You know, when some symptoms, some cluster of symptoms shows up, we can say this is certain type of illness. If you are talking about the physical illness, then I would say that that depression, I mean negative thinking, negative frame of mind, it might, cause the illness, proper illness in your body. As I mentioned earlier, that if you continuously are into a loop of negative thinking and you are unable to come out of it, then this depression may lead to the illness. And I appreciate if you specify the illness, but if it is physiological illness, then definitely thinking pattern determines our physical health as well. Likewise, if you are physically ill, if your body is ill and you already have some, problem with your body, some disease, then in the absence of proper support system or positive thinking pattern or some other factors, we are more into depression, like we are disappointed and we are causing ourselves more, towards illness. We are taking ourselves towards more illness because we are not coming out of it. So depression can cause illness, definitely due to negative thinking, and illness may cause depression as well when you have disappointment, when you have no hope about your recovery, and you do not have any proper support system that can help you in rejected by different job opportunities. You will stop learning more things, you will stop paying attention to your relationships, you will stop looking at your life otherwise, means that you are going into depression now. My definition for a depression is, as long as your thought pattern is along with you and your body is not showing any sign, I would say you are not depressed. But once your body starts showing signs, you start feeling lethargic, sleeping more than usual, or not sleeping at all, disturbed sleep pattern, lack of appetite, or any other symptom which we refer to as depressive, physical symptom, you are not depressed. And since I listened to you, and from your conversation, from your voice, I couldn't see you, Hassan. Your name is Hassan?
Yes, ma'am, Hassan.
Your voice indicates you are a strong person. You are not going to give up. Next question.
Yes, ma'am, I'm not given up yet. But still, I'm worried about I'm not able to sleep.
Worry is very natural. Worry will take you, forward. It will take you ahead, because worry will make you, do something about that. If you are not worried, you are not doing anything about that. People who are not very good thand program wale, they don't apply anywhere. So you are worried, that worry will take you. This is called you stress. This stress, when you are constantly worried about something, is very natural and it has to be there for your success. Inshallah. Thank you. Next question.
Next question is from Sandila. Sandila, please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum.
My question is that how can we deal with after effects after discontinuing your medication?
Sorry, dobara repeat karna hoga because your voice was not that clear. Kya?
My question is that how can we deal with the after effects after discontinuing your medications?
Oh, discontinuing the medication. Beta, dekho, usually if you are taking medication due to some psychiatric condition and you have been prescribed with certain medication, it is usually the consultant or psychiatrist or the doctor himself who discontinues the medication for you. It is not ourselves who can immediately or on our own will we can discontinue. So the consultant will discontinue the medication when he would feel that you are better and you are able to function normally now. Usually they do not discontinue if you are not in a condition. Yes, if you have, for some reason you were discontinued by a consultant, then there is slight possibility that you might fall back into the same, kind of illness. But again, I would say it is always in the, eyes of your consultant that he would say whether to discontinue or not. But if you have stopped medication due to any reason, then definitely you have to, look up to your lifestyle or other factors that might support you to continue a normal, healthy, functioning life. So it does not take longer to merge into a normal life functioning after discontinuing the medication if you find some support around you or you keep yourself up supported with your positive thought pattern system. Next question.
Ma'am, the next question is from Iman Ikhlaq. She couldn't ask a question due to mic issues. Her question is, why does depression leads to self-harm?
ऐसा है कि up to certain level of depression, as I discussed, 2 levels of depression. First level was these depression-like symptoms, जो हम सब में आ जाते हैं, and second was clinical depression. But I did not discuss the third level, the severity level of depression, in which I mentioned you that the severity of symptoms is quite predominant. It includes self-harm, it includes suicidal tendencies, suicidal attempts, or complete, discontinuation of normal life. So that is the extreme side of it. Now coming to the self-harm, because self-harm is possible in other problems, in other psychological conditions as well, like anxiety may, not only in depression. Depression is something like you harm yourself when you are completely disappointed in yourself, when you have this much negative thought pattern that you are unable to continue with normal life, with normal, positive thinking, and you have negative self-evaluation yourself, then you might harm yourself. But self-harm specifically, it comes with other conditions as well. That includes anxiety, that includes panic disorder, that includes maybe somatization sort of disorder, मुख्तलिफ conditions के साथ self-harm. Yes, it is more common in people with depression because once they feel helpless, once they feel hopeless, and they have anger towards their own self, they have negative self-evaluation, they have negative self-esteem, then there is a possibility that they might harm themselves. But again, if this is the level and you have an urge to harm yourself or you see someone harming their self, then it means the person definitely needs some type of professional help. Merely the support may not be sufficient. Gee. Next question.
The next question is from Aliza Javed. Aliza, please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. My question is about physiotherapy. In this situation, how physiotherapy plays an important role, because we know कि अगर हमारा mindset जो है वो किसी भी activity की तरफ चला जाए, तो एक depressed person जो है वो इस situation से probably बाहर आ सकता है. तो मैं ये पूछना चाह रही हूँ कि कैसे physiotherapy जो है वो एक important role play कर सकती है इसके अंदर.
तो बेटा फिजियोथेरेपी जो है ना, फिजियोथेरेपी इज समथिंग डिफरेंट. फिजियोथेरेपी इज सम टाइप ऑफ massage therapy that is applied to the affected area of your body when your body maybe doesn't have the impulses to work, or some sort of paralysis or pain sort of disorders. Usme physiotherapy. If you are talking about the physical activity, then I must appreciate you have drawn my attention towards this side. This is one of the best remedy of depression, that you need to indulge into some physical activity. When people are depressed, they do not feel like moving even from one room to another room. They are not motivated enough, or they do not have energy to go out with friends to enjoy, because they look at the activity as useless. Somebody once mentioned, and it remained with me till then, a patient of depression mentioned me that, ma'am, it's like I see my life with no colors. It is black and white. So it made so much sense to me that yes, life is kind of black and white. There is no color in life. So when you see this activity quite colorless, useless, but somehow you take an initiative, ek dafa, go and join an activity. Go and start it. जैसे हम उनसे कहते हैं, just watch some comedy shows, some comedy videos, कोई अच्छी attractive अच्छी सी videos देखें, so your endorphins are released and then you feel better. Brain को थोड़ा treat करें. वैसे दिल ही नहीं करता. What happens कि जब आप उनको दिखाना शुरू करते हैं, when you show them something, then they start involving into it. So somehow physical activity will bring you out of that. As I mentioned in very earliest of my talk, that body and mind are not not disintegrated. They are something. They are united. So when you move your body towards physical activity, it would release certain biochemical substances, biochemical reactions in your body, and that might enhance your mental functioning as well. So it is very important. Yes, very, very important.
The last question I'll pick from the chat box. The question is, can excessive social media cause depression, and at certain point we feel like we are not good than others?
Very intelligent. Social media engagement, when it is more than required, excess of everything is bad. When you are engaged in social activity, social media activity, you know what? You are talking to, you are seeing a lot of people which you do not even know, who do not even, you are not familiar with them, you have never met them, but you see them on the screen and you get their point of views, you get their thought processes, their mindsets. There is a lot of information on internet, right? So what happens actually, if first physically you are paying more attention to the screen time, you are not moving around, you are not eating enough, that is also causing depression. And when you are engaged in other activities, different people in social media, they are of different perspectives, they are of different personalities. And when you come across them, sometimes you feel as if you are no good, because the things projected on social media are not actually the reality. They are not real things, they are projected. And if they are real, they have different circumstances, they have different background, they have different reasons. If somebody is showing more accomplishments than yours, he or she must have some background that is quite different than you. Again, thinking pattern, the mindset. If you take it positive, you might strive for something you need to look for. You can take, positive lessons from those people. But the negativity of mind might lead you to decide that you adhere to the negative side. ले उसने इतना कुछ किया, मैंने तो कुछ किया ही नहीं. or people are not liking my post, or I'm not, creating this much good stuff as the other people are doing. So thought pattern matters a lot. If you look at the social media with respect to, some constructive activity, some positive activity, then there is a lot to learn. Huh. There are many researches which have been conducted on the personality of those people who spend more time on social media, who are interacting thousands of people in social media. Yes, their personalities have been found relatively less functional and more distorted, because so much information is difficult to process for a normal mind. So this is not good for us. So ultimately what happens, actually, they take negative messages from that social media website or specific resource, and they start negatively evaluating themselves. And sometimes we have tendency to do that. तो मैंने अभी कहा ना thought pattern, कभी आप session करें, I would teach you how to convert negative thought into positive thought, how to be a positive thinker and not a negative thinker. I can teach you step-by-step process. You can change it. So we can go ahead for that some other time, but currently I would say कि positive thinking के साथ अगर आप देखें social media, you might learn a lot, but again, I would not suggest to give more time than required to social media, because it usually, broadly, generally is not healthy. Thank you.
Ma'am, this is the last question, and in this question, I'm very interested myself. The question is from chat box. The question is, how can we help our friend who is in depression?
Very good. देखो, there is a proper mechanism of a personality to function psychologically and emotionally. What we do, just understand the mechanism of our thinking and behavior. You know what? We experience a life event. We extract positive or negative meaning out of it. We start sticking to it, and we start ruminating it. If our thinking is negative, we are taking the event negative and we are not sharing anything. Sharing is a process that facilitates our thinking. Why we are social animal? Because when we sit amongst other people, कहते हैं ना दुनिया में इतना गम है, मेरा गम कितना कम है. When you speak to people, you would learn that how people are striving with their difficulties. So it is always good to make a person speak out. Once the person, your friend, you think if somebody is in depression, just give that person chance without any judgmental thinking, without being judgmental towards somebody's thinking, or maybe skeptic towards that, negative towards that. Just be a facilitator to your friend and ask about what is bothering the person, what is bothering your friend, and let him speak whatever he speaks. The more the person would speak, he might, cry his heart out. He might maybe get angry while talking about that, sad, fearful, lot of emotions you might see in a person. But once this expression is out, you will find relatively the person is stable. So let the person speak out first. Secondly, look at the intensity and gravity of the problem. If there is something that would be in your range, you can counsel the person, you can show him different examples, show your own example, tell him some other story, and you can lighter the issue for a person. Because mostly people at your age, they are more defensive, they have trust issues, they do not want to share things, मेरी बात आगे चली जाएगी, or they have fear of judgment, how people would think about me, so they do not speak up. But you as a friend can facilitate a person to speak up. And when the person is speaking up, he is showing or sharing his issues and problems, he would feel better. But afterwards, you can always guide the person if the problem has this much intensity that he needs professional help. I think after this brief talk, maybe you are able to identify to some extent if somebody needs help. If somebody's life is completely interfered, the relationships are choked, the academic progress is down the lane, down the drain कहना चाहिए, and lot of repercussions he is facing in his life, then you must refer that person for a professional help. कि जाओ किसी psychologist से बात करो and take some guideline. But if it is something related to sharing the information, कहीं पे वो stuck हो गया है, कोई फैसला करना चाह रहा है, समझ नहीं आ रहा, you can always facilitate, right? जी.
There are many interesting questions in the chat box, but due to time constraint, I will wrap up this question answer session here and hand over the floor to Maria. Thank you.
Thank you, Roshan. Now, I would like to call Director of Students Affairs, Ms. Fazaila, for thank you note.
Thank you very much. सबसे पहले तो I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Saiba for sparing her these precious moments from her busy schedule and joining to this session and enlighten ourselves with such useful and I would say, you know, full of knowledge thoughts and tips. Thank you very much, Dr. Uzma Masroor, once again, for we are, you know, so much glad to have you over. And inshallah, we will be requesting you again in future to keep coming and keep joining in you know, various other sessions of such importance. I would also like to.
I'm available for university anytime. I'm available.
Thank you so much. And we would surely like to have you again for that positive thinking session as well. I had a sigh of relief when you know, mentioned that. That's the need of the hour. Of course, you know, our students really need it most these days. I myself was quite I felt so enlightened to learn you know, such new things about depression, what it is and what it is not, and how to, you know, overcome and what to do to you know, reduce its impact and all that stuff. Here I would like to add only one thing, that if we also one last more point, that is that if we try to, you know, build and create and build and strengthen our relationship with our Creator, Allah Ta'ala, yes, that will be, of course, another that will serve as another tonic to get out of this this situation. So with this thought, I would extend my thanks once again to you, Dr. Saiba. Inshallah, we'll have you again with us. I would also like to thank all the audience who remained there throughout and asked such good questions. And thank you, AU protocol team, for organizing this session. So with this, Mubarak and happy Eid in advance to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm also grateful, and I appreciate everyone who is attending this session.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for such amazing remarks. And thank you, everyone. And a special thanks to our honorable guest speaker, Dr. Uzma Masroor. We know your time is precious and you shared some of it with us. With this, we conclude this session. Take care and Allah Hafiz.